A presentation from Lewis Success Academy for HRS Leading Indicator 2.2. This support is provided to teachers to continually enhance their pedagogical skills, reflection, and professional growth plans. For this particular indicator, staff and admin scored pretty well. Out of the 5 staff responses, an average score of 4.36. And then from the 2 administrative responses, the average score is 4.39. A little lower for the student responses. The 81 students who responded, the average score for 2.2 is 3.97. And you can see it's backed up through the data collection. So for the 5 teachers that responded, scores were compiled, found a average score and the standard deviation to give an indication how we're doing for this indicator from the staff viewpoint, and then the same thing for students. So the students were able to give their responses, and that was collected and tabulated to give us an idea of how students felt for this indicator. So our area of strength here, the school leaders can provide evaluation results, growth plans, and evidence of support for any struggling teachers. The staff response averaged a score of 4.8. Again, students a little bit lower on some of the areas, which is if the teacher is having trouble teaching, my school leader should help him or her through classroom observations, one-on-one meetings, and or additional trainings. The average score there for students was a 3.79. So just starting with that one, creating a 4-box for the areas that need to be addressed. Again, for if a teacher is having trouble teaching, my school leaders help him or her through classroom observations, one-on-one meetings, and or additional training. We failed to meet that target of 80% by about 27% gap. So what was decided as a staff is that the main problem is just we're not communicating clearly enough with students of what's happening on days where we have those Wednesday PLCs or our teacher in services, or what's happening when someone does a walkthrough into a classroom. So that's just going to be more clearly communicated with our students, and let them know that we are going to our different trainings and PLCs and meeting with administrators so that we are developing the best practices to deliver the best educational experience for our students. On the strength side, how staff felt comfortable with school leaders can provide evaluation results, growth plans, evidence, and support for any struggling teachers. 2 main points of emphasis there are our PLC minutes and then the MAP entries. So for PLC minutes, PLC agendas are assigned and rotated for every PLC. Deadlines are set forth to ensure all staff are aware of roles, topics, objectives, and norms. Being informed allows staff to be prepared at our meetings, as well as provide valuable insight to topics discussed. And then our MAP entries. MAP entries are the formal methods of supervisor and teacher communication after any observation or meeting one-on-one with the 2 parties. This is given monthly and shows the teachers what they are doing well and what they still need to work on, if anything. Again, those 2 things there are providing evidence that there is an effort from school leaders to provide the evaluations and growth plans. So example here, PLC minutes. So each week there is a template that goes out for that meeting agenda, showing the vision and mission and the goals of each PLC, what the desired outcomes are, and then our topics of discussion and the details and action items from each. And then we'll wrap up by kind of see what needs to be addressed in the next meeting. So that way, every teacher has this. They know what they're expecting when they come into a meeting, what is being discussed, and what the outcomes of that discussion were. So we're all on the same page within our PLCs. The other area of strength is our school has a new teacher induction program. On the staff side, average score of 4.2 in those responses, and then both administrators agreed, strongly agreed at a 5 for our school as a new teacher induction program. This is evident by the teacher handbook that is provided to every teacher during onboarding, and it's a how-to guide and help support new teachers entering Life Learning Academy. They'll go through expectations and how to request professional development, how to set goals, and what all the meetings are about. This is given to new teachers when they are hired. So it looks something like this. Again, this is available to each teacher as they are onboarded. So to kind of supplement their onboarding training, we'll also kind of have a cheat sheet to go back to and reference whatever needed. So through here, table of contents, makes it a quick reference for whatever particular question a teacher might have, whether it be about how each education program works, what the testing looks like, and then general information on things like administrative duties, classroom expectations, how to request leave, so on and so forth. All the way down to radio code, so they are able to function within the classroom on the security side, how program security operates. And this is handed out to new teachers when they are onboarded, and then available to them as a reference sheet if and when they have any questions in their daily operations. Areas of growth are identified. Teachers were low on the I have written statements of my instructional growth goals, and then administration also scored a little low. Teachers have written statements of their instructional growth goals. And what we're saying here, this indicator is deadlines are set forth to ensure all staff are aware of roles, topics, objectives, and norms. Being informed allows staff to be prepared at our meetings, as well as provide valuable insight to the topics discussed. So how this is being addressed: one-on-one agenda templates provided to teachers before any one-on-one meetings occur. And this just allows to kind of go through and address each bullet point. So each teacher is going to fill this out to show their successes, update on their current performance, any training updates, personal goals, their student achievement, goal progress, and then needs and action items. So this kind of puts into the head for the teacher what the conversation is going to look like, so they know how they're going to progress through the conversation with their answers and kind of describing how their performance up to that point has gone as a teacher. And then this provides some feedback for whoever's providing the evaluation on that teacher, so they can kind of already see how those questions are going to go and what topics need to be discussed during that one-on-one meeting. And then the follow-up to that, to keep track of my progress on my instructional growth goals. Just trying to become more thorough in keeping track of professional development and training the teachers go through. The teachers obtain certificates after attending various training and professional development. This is used as a record of information gathered during that specific session. So a couple things, each training or PLC that is scheduled for teachers is going to have a Google Invite, Google Calendar. So that's evidence that that meeting did take place and that the teacher did attend that meeting. And then being able to collect some type of certificate of attendance or certificate of completion for each training event, professional development that a teacher is involved in. That is it for 2.2.